Hey guys, it's Engineer Rick. Admiral Rick. Captain Rick. And guess what? Ooh, there we are. We're flying airplanes again. It's hot out there. Oof. I figured I'd stay over here in a nice air conditioning and play some more flight sim. So, let me adjust my mic here a little bit. Hopefully, that's not too loud. Anyway, we're going to be taking the 737 again out of Albuquerque here and going all the way down to Orange County, California, Santa Ana. So let's jump into the cockpit here. I'm going to go ahead and get my sounds turned up. And we can get on our way. Now, I think I've already got ground power connected over here. Let's go ahead and put that on. Here we go. And we'll get set up over here. So we'll get our nav on first, start getting our IRSs aligned. We'll go ahead and jump down here. We got to enter our fuel for the route today. And I got to take a look at the right screen here. Where's my fuel load? And looks like we're going to be going with 13.7, so 13,700 pounds fuel. We're entering that, and let's go ahead and get back to our FMC here. We'll do our position and net that we're taking off from Albuquerque today. And let me just double check my volume there. All right, let's see, Albuquerque, not F. Clear all this stuff out. KABQ. Drop that in there. I'm not going to do the gate, but we'll pop over here. We'll grab our GPS, toss that into our IRS line, and we'll go over to our route, ABQ, and we're going to Santa Ana, like I said. So that's KSNA. Go ahead and request the flight plan. That's the one. 564 nautical miles today. Load that one up. It usually takes a second for it to load. Hope everybody's having a good, what is it, Wednesday. Alright, we'll click on load over here and let that load up. Kind of pre-configured a little bit of this stuff in here, like turning up the lights and that kind of stuff. Activate that, and we got to go over to our legs here, or wait a minute, get this right one. Reference, there we go. All right, and let's see, zero fuel weight today, 118.1. Our reserves, as usual, about 2,100 pounds. Cost index for today is 5, but we might bump that up once we're en route. And let's see, I think we were going to 36,000 feet. That's what's planned. Go ahead and execute that. Go over to our limits. We're not going to derate for the takeoff here. Flaps 5 again. Get our CG 5.5. And let's go ahead and jump back into our flight plan. And let's see. We haven't gotten that yet. Let's see. Menu. I'll get this right one day. Reference. There we go. N1 limits, takeoff, and route. I forgot to hit the execute button. That's what it was. Alright, now we go over to legs, and let's. What is no arrival departure? I'm still stuck on the Airbus. Alright. Let's see here. Taking a look at my other screen, I see we're going to be taking off runway 8. And the departure will be the rounder 3. And I believe Zune for transition. Execute that. Back here, arrival will be... Oh, well, we got a couple different choices, but what I'll do is, let's see what we got for 20 right, 20 right. We got the ILS, LDA. I think we're going to do the ILS 20 right. And it looks like Disney arrival with Hindu transition, and I think it... Double check. Alright, there we go. Execute that. Alright, now let's go into our legs here, see how everything populates. We'll pop over here a little bit, take a look at the plan. While we're up here, I'll set my cruising altitude up to 36,000. Oop, a little bit too far right there. There we go, 36,000. Alright, zoom back in here, step through our plan, and see what it looks like. Yep, departing runway 8, make a quick turn, head west, and oop, got a little vector there. Let me go ahead and get rid of that. Feed that. Come on. Try that again. Step, step, step. Disney J word. Yeah, see, I'm still stuck on my damn Airbus here. I'm trying to do it the Airbus way. Alright, and then into final. That looks good. I'm going to zoom out over here just a little bit just so I can see the full arrival right there. Make sure that looks good. Yep, pretty good. We'll go back to map. No, this is not the model railroad. Too hot over there in the layout room, so we're sipping coffee in the nice AC computer room. All right, let's see here. What else we got to do down here? Did our everything. We got to do our climb speeds here, or our V speeds at 135. So I'm going to set 140 for the initial speed here. Come on. All right. There we go. Flight directors on. Get the auto throttle on, and we'll hold right there. Let's go ahead and get our APU fired up here. So we'll get all our fuel tanks on. Go ahead and start the APU out here. Looks like we're going to have some rain out here. Should see the APU firing up here momentarily. There we go. See a little bit of exhaust coming out there. Alright, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and get our APU power on as soon as the gen comes online. There we go. Alright, APU power. Click that the right way. Over to APU gen, get our yaw dampeners on. And come down the list here. Let's see. He's on, sure. Everything else is seat belts. Get the seat belts on, no smoking on, and we can get our window heat on and our pitot heat. Get our electrical hydraulic systems going. APU bleed on, and we'll put a PAX on for right now. It's a little toasty out there. Put our beacon on, and I think we're ready to push on out of here. Double check everything. Come over to here. Yep, that looks good. I'm gonna move my coffee cup around a little bit. Yeah, it should be cooling off here in like a couple more weeks. My fingers crossed. All right, we'll come down here. Let's get transponder on, and let's see what else we gotta do. Here, we gotta get rid of the all the ground services here. So let me jump into this side here. And go ahead and release the ground power now that we're running on the APU. We'll release the jetway here. Ooh, excuse me. That should start pulling away here. Right through our truck. Yeah. All right. And let's see, we're going to remove our chocks. Going through here, making sure everything else is good. Fuel, jetway, we've got all our passengers boarded, our fuel's boarded. Get our pushback going. Let's take a quick look out here. So we're departing, what do we say, runway 8. Come out here, runway 8, right in front of us right here. So I think we'll push back, nose to the right. I'll get that right. We'll do a standard L, turn the nose to the right. Chocks have been removed. Get our parking brake is off. Get our tug connected and go ahead and start that up.
and start, they want the tail to our left.
Roger that. Ready to push. Tail to the left. Parking brakes off.
Parking brake is off. We'll put the packs off and get ready to start out over here.
Brakes released.
As soon as we start pushing back. Again, the blue tug is the default one that I haven't gotten away from. Look at it, we haven't even closed our door yet. Holy smokes. That's kind of goofy. We're getting a little extra air conditioning here. Maybe flying with that door open. Oh well. I think we can close it after we get rid of the tug. We'll go ahead and let's see, packs are off. Let's go ahead and start number 2. Again, just waiting for the N2 to spool up. About 18 to 20 something. And we can introduce fuel. Get that engine fired up.
Pushback complete. Parking brake, please.
Brake set.
There we go. Now we can close our door.
Steering pin is pulled. Watch for the salute and release from guidance on your right. Have a good flight.
Get back into our FMC on both sides here and take a look at our climb right there. And looks like we can start number 1. A little bit of weather here in Albuquerque today. We can engage our VNAV and LNAV, and we'll get that set up. And since the runway is right in front of us, we'll start configuring for takeoff here. Take a look at our trim was 5.5. We'll go over to engine power. Get our packs on, APU bleed off, U off, over to continuous on the engine igniters, and see here, everything else looks good. Good to go here, except, and I'm used to Airbus, I don't have to do this in the Airbus. Got to set up cabin pressure here and our landing altitude. Alright, now we're ready to go. Tell us to verify our speeds. No, that's we don't worry about the speeds right there. Let's go ahead and get our airport around 20 and get our terrain radar on, and we'll release our parking brakes here. There we go. Alright, I think we're ready to taxi over here and get on out of here. Get our flap set for departure. The airport here at in Albuquerque is a little sparse. We're still waiting for a decent decent payware airport. The airport I have over in Santa Ana is payware, so I paid for that one. And luckily over here, runway 8 is a nice big long runway. Go ahead and get our strobes on, get our logo off, landing lights on. Stop right here because always I forget to set my altimeter setting. So let me grab that off my other screen. Let's see, what is it? 3026. So let me go ahead and set that. .3026, looking good there. All right. Take the runway and get on out of here. So just a departure briefing here. We'll take off runway 8. We're going to make a left turn and get on our departure. So let's cool up the engines here. We're around 60%. Hit our toga button.
Airspeed alive. Knots.
V1.
Rotate. E2.
Rotating. Get a little bit of a crosswind there.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear coming up. Put a 2 on the flaps. We'll engage the autopilot here. A little bit of a funky departure right here, especially between what I want to do, which is make an immediate left, and what the flight director wants to do. We'll go to 1 on the flaps here. And go flaps up. Get a halfway decent view of Albuquerque at least. Alright, everything's looking good. I'm going to clean the plane up, so auto braking off, landing gear off. And we don't have to do anything with our air brakes there, spoilers, as we do in the Airbus. I'm kind of forced a habit there. I'm looking down to see if I got to disable my spoilers. You can kind of see Albuquerque off in the distance there. Downtown Albuquerque, I should say. Go ahead and turn down the volume just a little bit here. a little bit of weather here to fly through, at least for the first portion of the flight. And just getting into the clouds, unfortunately, here. A little bit of rain coming in on the windshield. Ahead and zoom out a little bit here. Yeah. FMC is always checking our speeds there, so calculating the requested speed with the flight plan and what it thinks the airplane will be doing, giving us little warning notices there. A little bumpy up through the weather here. Albuquerque's pretty high, so we're actually already at 15,000 feet. We'll go landing lights off. Go ahead and put our igniters to off. Everything else looks good. Pressurization looks good. Should be popping out of the clouds here pretty soon. I think there's some weather from Albuquerque through to about Phoenix or so. Actually just in Albuquerque for the most part. And we should be at our transition altitude here. Oops, sorry about that. That's not too loud. We'll go to standard on the altimeter setting. See, we're already breaking out of the clouds here. It looks like top of climb right around, what is that, 50 miles? 60 miles. 62 nautical miles. Hope everybody's enjoying their Wednesday now. I remembered what day it is. Let's see here what our flight time is. Looks like it's got us arriving at 2058 Zulu. About an hour from now-ish. Of far we've got a little bit of a tailwind. Albuquerque's got some interesting scenery here. And just taking a look, let's see, we'll actually be flying south of the Grand Canyon, north of Phoenix. Might get a little bit of a look at the Grand Canyon once we go by there. At least I got my information bar working up at the top of the screen. It's got our departure, arrival, our estimated time of arrival, our call sign, Southwest 007, our altitude, ground speed, heading, and vertical speed. Look out the other side here. Usually a little bit more scenic over here on this side. Unfortunately, we've got a couple clouds in the way right now. Look at all those lava flows there. Double check to make sure my chat is working. Now let's see what our final speed was for cruise. 0.744 Mach. We'll bump that up a little bit once we get up there. And you can go ahead and let the flight crew know through most of the weather, so we'll turn this seatbelt sign off. Coming up to 30,000 feet. View out the front here. somebody forgot to clean the airplane's windshield here. Closet Branch. Hello, how you doing today? Welcome aboard. We're not playing with trains today. We're flying flight sim again. Bring over the chart, show you where we're at and where we're going. Albuquerque, here's where we are, just outside of Albuquerque. This is Prescott, Arizona. Phoenix down here. Go right over Prescott. Grand Canyon's right over here with Las Vegas. And then we start our descent into Southern California over to Orange County. Closet Branch says, how do you know all the buttons and stuff? Yeah, well, I am a pilot in real life, but not airliners. I'm a private pilot, but you just kind of you learn it, just like with anything, especially in airplanes. You just kind of learn what's what and practice. You can obviously take a look at a lot of different streamers and you kind of pick up the flow, but the 737 may seem a little complicated here, but if you take a look at the upper panel, it kind of goes in sections. So kind of start at one end and work your way down, and work your way down, work your way down again and again and again, and make sure everything is set. As with most airplanes, it's usually turn on the electrical, turn on the fuel, turn on the engines, and that will get you like 50% of the way. Now, learning the FMC is it may look complicated at first, but like I said, if you just watch a few guys that are streaming the particular airplane, the Boeing obviously is different than the Airbus, and you generally get you pick up the flow of you know, how you're supposed to put things in and stuff. Gonna double check my sound volumes here. I don't want the music to be too loud, but don't want the airplane to be too loud too. Yeah, you probably need a decent computer to really run the simulator at a decent frame rate. Otherwise it gets too choppy. So you can see my frame rate down in the lower right hand corner, and we're up here with clouds, and we're actually on, I believe, medium settings, and we're getting about 25 or so, depending on the view in the cockpit. Might jump up or down a little bit more. But that's about the minimum that you want. Probably want more, so you can increase the level of detail for the world and everything else. But I'd say probably you need to have like a $1,200 computer or better, just to put it that way. Yeah, train sim again. I've tried it. I was streaming the other day, and one of the guys had asked about that. I did try train sim a little while back, a couple years back, but I kind of found it a little bit boring. Never really enjoyed it as much as running my trains on my layout. I think a lot of the train sims, like I said the other day, were most of it's European based, and it's all, you know, long haul. And if you know my channel, I'm into switching. Now, if they had a train sim with all you did was local runs out to industries to do switching, I might try that. I'm hoping the clouds kind of clear up so we can see the Grand Canyon. Good view out the right side here. I don't know about you, but whenever I fly in real life, I'm the guy that's got his head plastered onto the window. Not when I'm actually flying, you know, as pilot. I mean, as passenger. The watch says I got to stretch. We're only about a third through the flight here. Alright, we're at our cruise altitude, and like I said, I'm going to bump it up a little bit. Let's see what our headwind is. Oh, we got a direct crosswind right here. So I got a good ground speed, 442. We're going to bump that up a little bit more. And this is our wind, 51 knots, giving us maybe like a little tiny bit of a tailwind. But what I'm going to do is bump this up to 0.77. And over here, you can see this is the selected airspeed that I just input. And there's the little caret showing us where that airspeed is. Might be able to bump it up a little bit more too. And here's our actual airspeed. This is indicated, this is the actual Mach number, and so this number should get up to 0.77. That is the simulator have disturbances and all kinds of conditions built. Yeah, it's got, well, we're running real world weather. So yeah, you feel the turbulence and the winds and everything else. You can also program in failures too. I'm gonna bump this up to 0.8 Mach. Should be right at the top of our limit here, but that'll get us in a little bit closer, or into Santa Ana a little bit earlier. Take a look at our legs here. See what the computer is complaining about. Oh, 280, that's kind of weird. I wonder why I was doing 280 there. Let's go 244, that's what it's complaining about here. So we start slowing down to 244 knots as we're descending, and then for some reason got 280 over here. So punched in 244 and update that. should all fill back in here in a minute. Here we go. So that will stop complaining. Every time it takes a look at that, I get a message up here saying it's complaining about that airspeed. And let's take a look at our arrival weather, even though we're, where are we at? Coming up to Prescott here. We'll jump out there and take a look at it in a minute. So, I go over to flights, airports, check Santa Ana's weather. I can tell because I'm not that far from it and it's nice out. They got variable winds, 10 miles, visibility, view at 1,000 feet, 26, and the temperature, that's Celsius, 29 or 9 or 8. So I can actually set that in our plane. 29, what was it again? 29 or 89er. Yep. I'm just pre-selecting that right down here. Now let's take a look at our arrival, called the Disney 5 arrival. And if I overlay it on our map, that will be coming in over here from Arizona, and we're doing the Pmdg arrival here. Portion of it. We'll come right over to the Banning Pass, Palm Springs, and head right over to head right over to Orange County. As a matter of fact, this one's a little bit different here because the chart isn't showing the actual arrival because we haven't selected it on here. We're doing the ILS to runway 20, and what we're going to do is I think just take the final. There we go. That looks better. So we'll come down here, and then we take a quick right over the ridge line here, and then turn onto our final approach into Santa Ana. Let's see here. And this is the approach plate, and actually this is the RNAV. I got the wrong approach plate on here. Thought we were doing the ILS. Let me double check that. Is that what I selected? Oh, I selected the RNAV. Oops, wonder. Move that. Want the ILS. There we go. Good. Final Sager. See where that is. That's final. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. No, Sager. ILS with the Sager transition. There we go. That looks better. Alright. ILS runway 20 right. And we'll be descending down at 2,200. I might have to run over out of the cockpit here for a little bathroom break soon. Going by Winslow, Arizona right now. Coming up to Prescott. Go take a look outside. Winslow, right there. A very big place. The scenery kind of fill in here. It looks a lot nicer when you're when you've got the scenery bumped up, graphics bumped up. But for the sake of having decent frames, I kind of got it bumped down a little bit here. Watching our frame rate drop down. Sometimes the flight simulator does some funny things. Let's see, Prescott will be just off on our this side. I'm going to pop out of the cockpit here just for a minute. I'll let you guys watch the scenery from over here. Well, actually, you can't really see the scenery there. I'll let you watch the scenery from right here, and I will be right back. I'm gonna go do get rid of my coffee. I'm back. I had to turn down my mic, I think, a little bit loud. Let's see where we're at here. If our frames die. Coming up to Prescott pretty soon. So bad, I'm trying to figure out what the Zulu time is right now. It's 2012 right now, so up at the top of the screen. Oh, that's not right, huh? No. No, that is right. Sorry. Yeah, it's 2012 now. We're at about 40 minutes to arrival. Yeah, I had to take a quick break there. Benjamin had to take a little potty break too. He's co-pilot, sitting in the cockpit here. He's getting a little antsy. I don't recall where Arizona ends and New Mexico ends and where Arizona starts, but we are in Arizona here. Flagstaff off into the distance here. One place out here, back behind us. I think down here. Probably won't be close enough to the Grand Canyon to get a good view, but we should get a good look at Prescott because we're almost flying over the top of it. How many passengers are carrying today? 115. Oh, I can show you this right here. This is a sim brief, and we're actually what we do is we enter all our information in here, generate the flight plan. It generates the flight plan that we then pull into the simulator. And it's got all our details here for our departure, arrival times, all of our performance information, all of our loads sheet. Even though this says 129, we actually only took 115. All our weights, our route, and I always use the briefing preview here. It gives us all of our fuel information and a whole bunch of other stuff. It gives us basically everything we need to know for the flight. This is what the airliners use pre-flighting. Before flight, they get the aircrew gets this, and then you can go ahead and program everything into the FMC, the flight computer. Calculates all our winds for us and everything. Gives us all our NOTAMs for the route of flight. Along with our weather here. This is for departure. I usually don't bother when I'm flight simming to actually look through all this stuff, but let's take a look, see if there's anything interesting going on. Well, we've got our last observation when we generated the actual flight plan, and then our forecast right here, which might look small, but let's see, our arrival time was what, 2052. So from 20 to 0Z, here's what we should be expecting for our arrival here. Winds 220 at 9, unrestricted viz, and scattered at 12,000 feet. I think we just went over Prescott. Let's see if we can get a better look at it here. Yeah, back down below us. What I'll do is turn down the volume a little here, and we'll jump outside. Yep, there's Prescott. We just went by it. Enough of that noise. Phoenix should be way off to our left. Place down yonder. Won't be able to see too much from here, but should be the Phoenix Valley right over here. I got a little coffee left still. And let's see here. We can take a little closer look at the secondary display here. Yeah, you can see Vinny's house down there, huh? So here's our route of flight. Top of descent is right over here. Go ahead and start prepping for our descent here. Flight's going by pretty quick. Let's see here. Approach reference. All we got to set. We're going to do 40 degrees of flap, and that'll give us an approach speed of 130. Still getting used to the FMC here from the Airbus. You can adjust it let's see, what's the question here? When you do the final approach, do you have to adjust altitude and speed yourself, or the computer do it? You can do it either way. So you can let the airplane fly most of the approach, and then take over when you're at the runway, and then just land the plane yourself. If you have a Category 3 approach, you can actually have the plane do an auto land. Usually in an airliner, they let the autopilot control the plane here, but we use the autopilot to do our step down from altitude and speed and things like that. Hope that makes sense. But or you could fly the whole thing yourself, holding your joystick and your throttle. This is what I use. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. There we go. So I use this as my joystick, and let's see if I can show you my throttles here without pulling them out. But I use a Thrustmaster throttle and joystick. I find it simulates pretty much what you're seeing here in the cockpit. I've got my throttles on my right, and I hold my joystick here just like you'd be holding your left-hand side of the yoke right there. We got about 85, 90 miles to top of descent here. I'm going to go ahead and enter my descent altitude, which is 2,200 feet, I believe, at the final approach fix. And the Boeing will start its own descent here at our top of descent, which is the green TD right here. As long as we have a different altitude set, other than what we're at, which is 36,000 feet. Alright, so we set our flaps for the approach. I'm so used to the Airbus, I know I keep saying that, but could have swore there was some place I had to put in the altimeter setting. Yeah, 83 miles to top of descent for now. Now I don't think we have to enter our altimeter setting for the Boeing. Starting to get into the lovely southwest desert. Here's the Colorado River. Coming up to Blythe, I believe it is. Sorry, Parker and Lake Havasu. So Parker is on our left, Lake Havasu on our right. So this is Parker. And if we take a look this way, there's Lake Havasu. Behind me. There you go. Right there. Around here on my views just to see if there's anything good to see. Yeah, we should be. We're gonna fly pretty much right over, right just north of Palm Springs, right through the Banning Pass. And if you can look way out there, you see these two ridges out here? That's the Banning Pass right there into Los Angeles. And Palm Springs, the mountain here on the, if I can't zoom this in a little bit, the mountain on the left is San Jacinto, Mount San Jacinto. That's where they have the tram that goes up to the top from the base of Palm Springs. We're going to be going right between the two ridges here. On this side here is Big Bear. Go ahead and turn down my range here. It's like about, is that 50 miles to top of descent? Yeah, 60. 57 nautical miles at the moment. Double check my fuel here since we're using a little bit more fuel since I bumped the speed up a little bit. Oh, stewardess. Need more coffee. I don't know where the stewardess is, but I gotta go get another cup of coffee, so I will be right back. I'm back. I have to run back to the galley there and get a little refill on the Java. Let's double check our pressurization here. And double check our altitude for Santa Ana. I think it's at 50 feet. .56 feet, so I'm just going to reset that down to 50. You should start seeing Coachella Valley there and Salton Sea right over here. We'll be over the mountains here in a second and start our descent into Greater Los Angeles. So here's kind of what we're looking at. Let me show you on the chart here. So I kind of zoom out here. So we got San Diego down here, Los Angeles right here. Here's Palm Springs. Here's our two peaks. The one on the left, we're coming in from the right side here. Here's Big Bear and peak on the right. And then there's the Salton Sea, which you can see right off here with another airliner there. We're passing him up. A little bit down below us and a little bit slower there. Couldn't tell if that was a Delta flight. We're Southwest, so we don't mess around here. We're getting to the airport first. Yeah, we're winning. And let me see. Can't remember if my TCAS works in this airplane. Weather radar is in op for right now. We should be starting our descent here in a minute. A few miles to go. We'll let the flight crew know. Starting our descent. Put the seatbelt signs back on. We'll get a good view of Palm Springs in here in a minute. Looks like we've started our descent. Starting to get a better view here. Here's the two peaks we were talking about. Got another airplane up here. You just see his contrails. And you got Palm Springs Airport's right at the base here. Palm Springs, Coachella Valley. Start looking a little bit better once we get closer. we should be able to see some of the wind turbines there in the Banning Pass. Go ahead and double check our speed. Yep, starting to slow down here. Yeah, I'm not running ATC. We could be on our VATSIM, which is a virtual ATC network with other people, but I usually don't bother. We can tune in our ATIS. Ooh, see what the frequency is. At 126.0. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, we'll be flying right over Beaumont Hill. And take a straight shot right through the Banning Pass and right over to Chino. We take a quick little jog right and left, right over Anaheim Hills onto final into into Orange County. Here's our route. Here's Banning Pass, Palm Springs, and we're going to take a straight shot right over Riverside, just over to South Corona, and then we're going to cut across right over here. Here's the Anaheim Hills, and the 91 passes right underneath us here. And then into the airport. Starting to get a better look at Coachella Valley and Palm Springs. I can see San Diego way off in the distance in the haze over there. And the Pacific already in view. Is it the 10 that runs through the Banning Pass? Yeah. Kind of take the 10, the 91, and then the 55 if you're familiar. Yeah, Santa Ana Mountains right over there in the, or the Santa Ana Ridgeline right there, distance. Over there, here's Corona right there. I've got my scenery turned down a little bit just to get better frame rates here, but we'll see if we can pick up any of the wind turbines all throughout here.
John Wayne Airport information Yankee 2000 Zulu. Wind tree 0 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky condition few clouds at 1,700 feet. Temperature 27. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.86. ILS runway 20 right and visual runway 20 left in use.
All right.
Landing and departing runway 20 right and runway 20 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Yankee.
All right. We got Yankee.
John Wayne Airport information Yankee 20.
A little bit of an update there on the altimeter, so I just reset that. Palm Springs Airport. Let's see if we see any of the wind turbines. I think probably not. You can kind of see the shadows. These little things right here are the shadows from the wind turbines. I'd turn up my graphics, but it might slow down the sim here. It actually might crash the sim if I'm doing it while I'm streaming, so I don't want to do that after all of this anticipation in the whole flight here. Oh, Mount San Jacinto here on the left. We got Big Bear back on the right. Get a good look at Palm Springs here. Palm Springs Airport. Should get a nice view of San Jacinto Mountain here. We got a little bit of haze over here, a little bit of fog along the coastline there. Coming up to 19,000, just waiting for 18,000 so we could switch our altimeter. Got a creak in my back. Oh. Be able to see Big Bear from here. Let's see. Yeah, right there, just over the ridge line right there is Big Bear Lake. And there's the 10 freeway we were talking about. Running right by the Banning Airport. We're at 18,000 feet. We'll go ahead and walk over to our altimeter setting, 2986. And let's see here. We can prep for our landing here, which I believe we've already entered our final flap setting 140, 130. Light slope is on. I just cut my hair, so trying to look the part. So if I'm not mistaken, let's see, Beaumont Hill, someplace around here. Yeah, let's see here. I usually cut through here. There's a good rail fanning spot someplace over here. Or is it on this side? I can't remember. Yeah, this is Hemet. And there's that Skinner Reservoir. Temecula Valley right there, Oceanside. Excuse me, in Camp Pendleton, looks like it's foggy over there. We got Lake Elsinore off here in the distance. Secret Scientology base. Huh. I thought they had some kind of something over there, didn't they? Let me see here. I want to look. Here we go. Let's see. Rail fanning spots. There's a rail line, right? I think that's what it is. Well, fuzzy, but I think that's the rail line. It runs through, what's it called? San Tomatillo Canyon or whatever it is over here. A little bit of drag out here. Get us slowed down a little bit. I'll turn up the approach volume here just a little bit. And did we already go by March? Where is it? Oh, coming up. There it is. March Air Reserve Base right here. I was just over here this morning, someplace out here. Had some business to do over here in this location. And if I'm correct, there's the Cajon Pass off in the distance. Trying to get out of your way so you could see, here we go. Alright, 10,000 feet, just almost 10,000 feet. We'll alert the flight crew. Seatbelts or signs are on. Got our landing altitude set. We can go continuous on the engine igniters. Go to 2 on the auto braking. It's a short runway over there at Santa Ana. Got a little traffic down here low. Not sure where he's going into. There's Riverside and Corona, Chino off in the distance. Hello there, BNSF Rail Productions. We're flying flight sim again. A little bit too warm in the layout garage. But you're just in time for the landing over in Santa Ana, John Wayne Airport, Orange County. Don't stutter on me there, simulator. We get South Corona over here getting built up. This is the 15 freeway that runs down to Temecula. And you can see they have been building this place up. They're building lots of new housing going up all around here. We're gonna take a right here, kind of fly right over the end of the mountain right here before we pick up our final approach into Santa Ana. What's your longest flight? Well, you get a little tired sitting here in a chair doing flights, but I have done. Usually try to stick to like 2.5, 3 hours at the max. I usually do short hops like Phoenix to different parts in California. But I have done a couple of flights down to Hawaii, did one to Japan, and then when I'm flying in Europe, usually try to kind of stick to the same sort of hour-and-a-half or so flights, but I've done a couple of long flights from like England to Greece and Israel. Alright, our airport is someplace out here. Go ahead and start getting slowed down. Like I said, we kind of come right over the ridge line here. Be a short approach. Got the spoilers out here just to keep us slow. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit the approach on the autopilot. Hopefully it doesn't kill us. That's because we're right over the ridge line right here. Okay. Landing lights on. It slowed back up here a little bit again. Here's the, what is that, the 241. And you can see our airport right here. Making a quick left turn here and coming on to final. Go ahead and slow us down to about 190. making a kind of a short approach here. Go gear down in just a minute. Get our flaps down to 5. E back down to about 169 or so here. Alright, gear coming down. Flaps 10. And flaps 15. And we're almost over the 55 right here. Slowed down to our approach speed. Come on, simulator, catch up to me. There we go. Alright, we'll go to full flaps. Best frame rate, but I mean, it's okay. Alright, let's get back in the cockpit here for landing. I'm going to go ahead and disengage the auto throttle. And I'll disengage the autopilot here. I'll fly the rest of the approach by hand. Check. Okay, gear down, full flaps. A little bit of a crosswind there. Get lined up again.
200. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Thrust reverser is engaged. Hey guys, welcome to Orange County, California. Turn off here and get our spoilers down, get our flaps up. Landing lights off and get our taxi lights on. We'll get cleaned up over here a little bit. Now auto braking can come off, and we'll just go upstairs here, get the APU fired up, get our igniters off. I think we got to follow a Lear here. And you can see my frames are kind of dropping out over here, so it's a little jittery. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that flight. Instead of doing some model railroad layout updates. A little toasty in that garage still, but hopefully I'll get to working on it maybe early in the morning or something like that. I should have an update for you, or at least maybe an operations video. I fly the Airbus all the time, but it's a little what do you call it? GPU hungry, so I get really bad frame rates, especially when I'm streaming. So, which is why we're flying the Boeing, because I get much better frame rates in the Boeing than I do the Airbus for whatever reason. So I probably we'll see. Once I upgrade my my computer and I get a little bit better frame rates, I'll probably stream a little bit of the Airbus there. Or we can do some general aviation, that's always fun. Stefan, you're in Georgia, huh? Go up here, get over to APU power. Mind the airplanes popping in and out. Go ahead and grab an empty gate here and call it a day. Well, you can park at any open gate. I think we'll take gate, what is that, 19 right here? So normally, depending on what airline, sorry I can't talk, what airline I'm flying, I will park at the proper gates for that airline. Right there is good. Alright, we'll get the parking brake on. And seatbelt signs off. Shut down the engines. And we'll start deplaning here. Set our chocks, get our ground power going, and request our gate. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that not train operations, let's call it that. A little bit of airplane operations, though we did take a look at a few airline routes. Ooh, that's loud. Turn that down just a little bit. Alright guys, hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you in the next maybe live stream or maybe in the next actual layout train operations video, guys. Till next time, take care.